Welcome to Real versus Real. Today, we're exploring the Bush family, their decades-long influence on American politics, and their legacy in shaping modern U.S. policy. Then we'll compare it with the ruthless, fictional world of House of Cards, where power often overshadows ethics. Just how close is House of Cards to the reality of a family like the Bushes? Let's find out. The Bush family's political legacy. The Bush family has been a prominent force in American politics for generations, beginning with Prescott Bush, a senator in the 1950s. His son, George H.W. Bush, became the 41st President of the United States, and his grandson, George W. Bush, became the 43rd. Meanwhile, Jeb Bush served as governor of Florida and was a significant figure in Republican politics. The Bushes built their legacy on traditional American values, patriotism, and public service. Unlike the cutthroat ambition seen in House of Cards, the Bushes maintained a reputation for ethical conduct. George H.W. Bush's administration, in particular, emphasized diplomacy and restraint, especially during events like the Gulf War. In contrast, House of Cards presents a world where politicians like Frank Underwood use manipulation, blackmail, and betrayal to reach the top. While the Bushes were certainly ambitious, their ascent to power was more about legacy and public service than personal gain. George H.W. Bush. Diplomacy and the Gulf War. George H.W. Bush was known as a statesman with a focus on diplomacy. As a former director of the CIA, vice president, and then president, he emphasized coalition building, particularly during the Gulf War in 1991. Bush's approach to international affairs was calculated and measured, in stark contrast to Frank Underwood's reckless and self-serving methods in House of Cards. House of Cards often shows Frank Underwood using military action as a tool to secure political leverage, portraying power as the ultimate goal. For George H.W. Bush, however, the Gulf War was about responding to aggression while preserving global stability. His emphasis on diplomacy over unilateral action sets him apart from the morally ambiguous, self-serving tactics we see in House of Cards. George W. Bush, 9/11 and the War on Terror. When George W. Bush took office, his presidency was soon defined by the events of September 11, 2001. The 9/11 attacks transformed his administration's focus to counter-terrorism, leading to the War on Terror and the invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq. In House of Cards, Frank Underwood's choices are typically motivated by personal benefit, with little thought to long-term repercussions. George W. Bush's decisions, however controversial, were rooted in a response to a national crisis and a genuine, if complex, strategy against terrorism. His motivations were publicly driven, aimed at protecting American security rather than advancing personal ambition. While the Iraq War sparked controversy, particularly over intelligence claims, Bush's approach was a combination of public statements, alliances, and complex decision-making. House of Cards simplifies these kinds of decisions, portraying political figures as primarily driven by ruthless ambition. The Bush administration, in contrast, was publicly accountable, and Bush faced intense scrutiny for these actions. Jeb Bush, the family legacy and public service. Jeb Bush, the son of George H.W. Bush and brother of George W. Bush, carved his own path as governor of Florida, focusing on education reform and economic growth. His approach to governance was more conventional, with an emphasis on gradual, sustainable change. Unlike the Underwoods, Jeb Bush's campaign style was characterized by transparency and traditional values. His 2016 presidential run was a stark contrast to House of Cards, where manipulation and backroom deals are the norms. Jeb's campaign ultimately struggled against more confrontational candidates, illustrating how the family's ethics-first approach sometimes conflicted with the aggressive tactics now common in politics. Jeb's career, while not as high-profile as his father's or brother's, is a testament to the Bush family's dedication to public service. His style, based on policy and transparency, differs sharply from the underhanded tactics used by the Underwoods to stay ahead. family, scandals, and the Bush dynasty. While the Bush family is known for their legacy of public service, they haven't been without controversy. Allegations regarding connections to wealthy oil interests, intelligence failures, and political ties have all sparked debate. However, unlike the fictional Underwoods, the Bush family's loyalty to each other has remained strong, emphasizing their values and family legacy over individual ambition. In House of Cards, betrayal and scandal are part of the political game. Frank Underwood's ambition knows no limits, and he will sacrifice anyone, even those closest to him, to get what he wants. The Bush family, in contrast, has maintained a close-knit loyalty, supporting each other through both successes and controversies. While the Bush family's influence has led to whispers of a Bush dynasty, their loyalty and commitment to public service stand in stark contrast to the morally bankrupt tactics seen in House of Cards. The Bush family legacy versus fictional politics. The Bush family's legacy is marked by a sense of duty and patriotism. From George H.W. Bush's foreign policy achievements to George W. Bush's handling of national crisis and Jeb's commitment to reform, the family's influence is undeniable. In House of Cards, the Underwoods' ambitions are purely self-serving, showing the darker side of power politics. The Bush family's approach is far more public-focused, driven by family loyalty and a sense of national duty. Despite political disagreements and controversies, the Bushes consistently prioritized what they believed was best for the country. The Bush family's belief in public service and ethical governance sets them apart from the fictional Underwoods. Where the Underwoods see people as tools for power, the Bushes, even with their flaws, see public service as a family calling and responsibility. Conclusion: real versus real. How close is House of Cards to the real Bush family? So just how close is House of Cards to the reality of a political dynasty like the Bush family? While the Bushes have wielded considerable influence, their motivations and methods stand in stark contrast to the fictional Underwoods. The Bushes prioritized loyalty, ethical governance, and public service, while the Underwoods represent the dark side of ambition and manipulation. In the end, the Bushes' legacy is one of family loyalty, public service, and navigating the complex world of American politics. The Underwoods' world, though inspired by real political dynamics, is exaggerated for drama, showing us what politics might look like if ambition were the only guiding principle. Thanks for watching Real versus Real. If you enjoyed this look at the Bush family and House of Cards, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know which famous family or political dynasty you'd like us to explore next. See you next time.